Alright folks, welcome back. You send me your seed and I try to win in the most boring way possible. This is Balatro every day, and today, Bernardo didn't give us a whole lot of information, so if this one ends up not being very interesting, we will make fun of them. Alright, let's go next. How about Gold Stake Yellow Deck? I guess we try to get the spades. Could be diamonds. Suspiciously many aces. Let's go one more time for the spades. That doesn't win. Pair of kings, I guess. Alright, classic two-handed start. Showman for $1. Maybe not as a rental. Buffoon pack. Could take the grabber. Probably we will. We don't have to take it yet. Let's go Buffoon pack first. Burglar's interesting on Gold Stake. Trading 2 discards for 3 hands, but it does take up a joker slot. Extra hands can be useful for those scaling jokers, stacking jokers like square joker, bust, green joker, those kinds of things. Usually I want to have some kind of stacking joker first and then take the burglar after. Not having access to discards, maybe then you miss out on some jokers that care about discards like mail and rebate, maybe you miss out on purple seals, that sort of stuff. Could take a photograph here, not really expecting it to do a whole lot early, but it's not a perishable, it's not a rental, so easy pickup there. Go next. Equipped with photograph, we can get a flush, maybe diamonds as a flush, and then with the ×2, that's all we need. Yeah, important to point out here about the photograph, not doing that much early on, but we don't necessarily need that much early on. Just +4 Mult early on is fine. Could take Cloud9, could take a credit card here. We probably Spectral Pack first in case we get an Onk. Could be Onk, get a second photograph, so now the second photograph is going to be +8 Mult on top of already +4 Mult. I think maybe early on it's still not very powerful, and then maybe later on it's not really worth it necessarily. Not necessary. I think I just take the money here. Then I can buy this grabber. We can take Cloud9 here. We don't need the credit card. Maybe standard pack, maybe not. 20 bucks in the bank, not quite maxed out interest. This is all fine. Alright, I have clubs. I will try to get better clubs. There we go. So any hand which would normally be 300 points is now 600 points. Alright, and we get another hand. Boss says no discards. Okay, so take the hung man for sure. Take standard packs looking for seals. Could be a blue seal too. And then, since we have the money, we can take a buffoon pack. There's the burger again. I think I'm not gonna do it here. Not as an eternal. Maybe I want an 8-ball. How many 8s do we have? I guess we have all of the 8s. Northern Lion I would take if it wasn't a rental. So I guess just 8-ball here. Which we don't have to do, we could just sell it. Alright, so here I'm trying to play 2 5-card hands. I can play this straight. Gets us halfway there. With the blue seal, we want to try to win with a pair if possible. Though winning with a pair may be a little bit difficult. Pairs of faces could work. Maybe. I think I throw away the king. I can do a pair of jacks. So pair of jacks is going to be 100 points. I could play 8 as a high card. Let's pair the jacks. Maybe we can get a pair of 8s. Okay. We can do 2 pair, 8s and 5s. Maybe 6 and 4 we can hang them and then play the 2 pair. Okay. Get a fool for another hungman. Okay. So I can go Mult cards on the queens. The Mult cards do happen before the photograph, so you get the +4 and then the ×2. Aces, we can hang them, I guess. Play the queens. 8 ball, if I want to keep it, I guess. I think it's worth keeping as a perishable. Let's go ahead, play the pair of queens here. And we get the blue seal value. Okay. Since we just use a hungman, maybe we don't use Mercury yet, in case we find another fool. Celestial pack here, Arcana pack. Arcana first. Didn't get a fool, but we could go Judgment, could go Devil. I think early on here, maybe I want Judgment, maybe I want some early game scoring, though if we are able to draw, because we have the vouchers, the extra hand vouchers, I think of the extra hand as being like an extra discard. So I'm thinking, okay, I can draw through my deck more easily. If I draw through my deck more easily, I can find these Mult cards more easily. Once I find the Mult cards, then we win the round. Even against this boss, which takes away your discards, technically, we still have those extra hands we can use as discards. Maybe Judgment is not important for us to do. Maybe it makes sense to go... Could be a gold 9. Normally I would say gold jack, and then if you get a death card, you can copy jacks. But maybe with the photograph, at least early on here, we are incentivized to play our face cards. If I had some joker that was giving me plus mult, then I wouldn't have to worry about the photograph. So maybe we go between the 2 9s here, maybe you go 9 of clubs in case you get a blackboard. Something to think about, but probably not going to matter. Take Mercury and then could go Celestial pack. Could take a Jupiter card. So the problem with trying to do the blue seal on the pairs is my pairs are not very strong yet. I don't have much support for my pairs yet, but I could pad the score a little bit with flushes. Maybe I take a Jupiter card for that purpose. Maybe you could also take a Celestial pack here. Sure. So some consideration. Okay, if we've got $24 in the bank, $20 versus $24, you get the same amount in interest. $4 interest instead of $5 interest. But if I spend $4, I still have, it's still costs $4, right? Jupiter card here is good. If I spend money on the Celestial pack, then I'm further away from buying the voucher, which I really want. But maybe if I have Cloud9 pays for the voucher. If I buy the voucher in the next shop, I might not have money for the booster packs. Could take Trio here, is not something that I'm normally a big believer in. But we did take Immolate, and with Immolate we removed a few cards. We did get the Hungman twice, so we're already down to 44. So 3 of a kind is possible, but it's also $8, so let's just go next. All right, I can play the pair of jacks. I could try to go for the flush first. So if we play usually about maybe 30-40 chips or something like that, that's going to be 800 points, and then doubled with the photograph. So the flush, because we got the second upgrade, the flush just wins straight up. Let's try to go for those pairs. Okay, so the pair is not very strong, but we do have the Mult card. And so how much does that do? That does about twice as much. I don't think it wins. I can play the pair of 8s first. I could play 2 pair. The regular pair is better. Get a Hierophant. That helps because now we also get extra chips. So I think we can win with just pairs. With the Hierophant, I think we can win with just pairs. I can go Hierophant onto 1 queen and 1 king. Play the pair of kings. And then dig for the blue seal. Alright, so with the bonus card there, that wins. The pair of 8s is not going to be strong enough. We could go 3 of a kind is possible. 4 of a kind is possible. Pairs are easy enough. Do that. Leveling up the pair makes us stronger going into the boss. Alright. So Mercury here. Then could take Smiley Face to go with the photograph. Okay, I'm 100% taking the voucher. If I take the voucher, it takes me down to 25 bucks. I think in that case we have enough money, we can go Arcana. Looking for Hermit. And if we miss, we could just hang him. So 5 and 2, we just hang him. And then probably Smiley Face. That's going to help us with our base Mult issue. So you get the +5 and then you get the ×2. Extra hand here, nice going into the boss. You could consider a Slide Joker as an eternal rental. Maybe if I already have the leveled up pairs, I don't need something like that. Let's just go next. Alright, so you could play a pair of 4s, which doesn't really do much. You could play a pair of jacks, which scores a decent amount. Alright, so the next time we get a pair of face cards, the pair of face cards just wins. I only have 29 cards in the deck, so it's worth digging to try to get the blue seal and the gold cards and a pair of 8s. Could spin the wheel, maybe. Alright, I can throw away 1 queen here as a high card. And we do get the blue seals. So we know if I play high card, it'll be exactly the same. It'll be like 180. I could try to draw the gold card. I have about 1 in 3 chance of drawing it. Let's just play the pair of queens. And save the wheel. I don't want it to hit my perishables. That's something that I don't think about very often because it doesn't usually matter. Alright, so here, like I said, opening that previous Celestial pack, we did go a little bit low on money here, thinking about buying that voucher. Could be Mercury here and then Arcana. Alright, $5 Arcana pack, sure. Cloud9 is done. We won't get the payout anymore, so maybe we sell Cloud9. This stuff here doesn't matter. I guess you could make clubs if you wanted. Possible blackboard in the future, but not likely to matter. Let's just go next. We could sell wheel for an extra $1. Interest, maybe. Could sell the 8-ball instead. Maybe we get something from the 8-ball that we can sell instead. I can play a pair of kings. Pretty sure the pair of kings just wins. 2 pairs probably pretty strong also. With Smiley Face and Photograph. 2 pairs should be okay. Great. And then now the pair of queens wins. We could play a pair of 7s. Play the pair of 8s. Keep the wheel, sell the wheel. Sell the wheel, I guess. Alright, dig for the blue seal. Alright, we have the blue seal, we can play the queens. That's it. One more round 8-ball. Okay. Alright, could be buffoon pack. DNA. I could use that to try to copy blue seals. Don't need banner anymore because we already have 85 chips on our pairs. Don't need Fibonacci. Let's go DNA, I guess. Fine. Alright, I want to discard first. I can copy the blue seal here. And then do something like that. I will play the bonus card. We have lots of Mult. The bonus card gives me extra chips. That's it. 8-ball's done, and that's okay. Okay. Suppose we could do that. Alright. Let's take an Arcana back. Could be make a steel card. Could be make a steel jack, I guess. Yeah, I guess if you just do the photo and the Chad, then it's gonna be fine. Let's do this. Let's say, obviously, the Chad here is the correct pickup. You take the Chad in the photograph and you're gonna have a great time, or whatever. Let's do this. Let's pick up the dagger. And I'll show you how to make the dagger work. Go next. So, first thing we want to do is not DNA because this boss says we can only play one type of hand. Blue seal in hand, I could play the pair of jacks, which will win. I could play the pair of 10s and try to dig for my other blue seal, I guess. Alright. This doesn't score, and that's okay. This also doesn't score, and that's okay. Pair of queens wins. I could play 2-pair, which doesn't score. I would need to draw both of my kings. I could play something like this. Alright, so we got the blue seals, and then this pair wins. Alright. Death card. So, could make some glass cards if we want. Sure. Extra discard is okay. I think maybe now my pairs are high enough level we don't really need the smiley face. And then we don't need these celestial packs. Go next. Alright, we want to get the blue seals. Blue seal. Let's make a glass too. And then I have maybe this 8 I can turn into a 2. I guess I don't have to do it right this second. We can play the 2 first. And then play the base pairs. So if I play the pair of jacks, I don't think this wins. Right. I don't need all of these 2s, so maybe we could throw one away. I don't really need this jack. There we go. Alright, we did just use a death card. So let's not use the Mercury cards right away. Jumbo pack here. We have about 1 in 4 chance of getting a Fool. Man, the rebate's okay. Seeing Devil's okay. Probably we end up selling them. So we do get a Hung Man. This boss says my hearts are debuffed. Alright. Use the Mercury cards. We did make extra 2s, and so maybe it makes sense to keep the 2s. Rebate on 7s, but I'm tempted to remove a 7 right here. 9 and 7. We miss out on $5, but I do think this is better. Seeing double, we can delete. Polychrome King. Well, that's something. Maybe since I had the blue seals, maybe since my pairs are such high level, maybe that's something that's a little bit... Maybe I wouldn't normally do this, but maybe it makes more sense here because we have so many blue seals. Go next. Alright, so we have the 2 which we can copy. And then we can play some pairs. Alright, so pair of kings. Throwing away a 3. Throwing away a jack. Or jack and queen. I think we don't need the photograph that bad. Alright, we can rebate some 7s after discarding, so I don't need this ace. I could play a pair of 8s. I think the pair of 8s wins, so let's play queen high, and we don't need the jack. Alright, we can rebate the 7s. And then, I really don't need this many 2s. So, I guess I won't get the other 7, and that's okay. I do need some flavor of pair. So we can throw away the jack. We can get 6s and 5s are out. Probably the 4 is most likely. Play something like this. And in an emergency, we can always play the 2s. Or play the pair of 9s. Trading, yeah, we play the 9s, we lose $3, but then we get the blue seal value. Rebate, we don't have to keep it. But I think I will. Since I only have 44 cards. Alright. Now what? Okay, so we got Golden Joker, we've got Onyx Agate. I think I want to do Golden Joker instead of Mail-in Rebate, even though we have extra discard here with the Wasteful Voucher. Maybe not. Okay, if I get the extra discard, do I want a Jumbo Standard Pack? Maybe not. Maybe if I already have these blue seals, probably we have everything that we need. Let's just go next. Rebate on queens. How many queens do we actually have? We have 4 queens. Alright, so I can copy the 2. And then I can rebate the queen. Maybe. DNA is done. Bummer. Alright. Rebate the queen. Pair the 8s. Okay. I can pair the kings, throwing away a glass card. This won't win, but it'll be close. Alright. Discard glass. There are the queens. Maybe keep the 9s. Pair the jacks. Okay. Celestial pack. Pick up Honu. Is it too late for the 8-ball? I have 3 8s in the deck. Boss is extra large. So we do take the 8 ball so that we have some material for the dagger. Rebates on jacks. Let's go standard pack. Since we have extra money, might as well open the standard pack. There's another blue, could be a blue 7. Maybe I don't need this blue 7 if I already have all of these 2s. 44 cards in the deck. 3 discards, 6 hands. We don't need this blue seal. Mega Celestial pack we also probably don't need. Maybe we save our money for getting jokers for the dagger. Alright. Rebate on jacks. We don't necessarily need a lot of pairs. We can play the pair of 8s. Okay. Rebate the jacks. 2 more jacks in the deck. I could play a pair of queens, and if I do, maybe I throw away a 2. Does this pair win? Probably. Knowing that it probably wins, we can discard here. And maybe play a high card one time. I'm going to play the bonus card because the bonus card is worth more points for the high card. Saving a discard for my jacks. 1 jack should be fine. Alright, then play the queens. And we said this should be at least 15,000 because of the photograph. Great. So 15,000 for our best pair. Boss is 100,000. Pick up a golden ticket here. Let's go Buffoon pack. Could be Bartolomeo. Could be a hologram. Hologram is stronger, safer, but it's a rental. Maybe that's okay. So in that case, we want to pick up base cards. Could be another steel card. Is maybe something that doesn't usually matter, but with such high level pairs, maybe the steel cards actually do matter. Let's go next. We have money, but we can save our money for after we need a reroll for the dagger. So the thing is, not every shop will have jokers for the dagger. Sometimes you get eternals, sometimes you get rentals, and rentals, even though they only cost $1, they also only grow the dagger by a little bit, plus 2 mult. So we can save our money and we probably reroll a couple times in the next shop. Rebate on aces. Okay. I don't need these blue seals if I have more blue seals in the deck, I guess, if we want to try to be greedy and go for the aces. Alright, we can rebate 1 ace. We can throw away a 2 here. Maybe holding on to the 9 is slightly greedy. Alright, let's play the jacks. And keep the king? Sure. So this won't win, it'll be like 20k. And then pair of 6s will be slightly less. But we have the 9s as a backup. Okay. Alright. Now if I've got standard packs, I guess I'll just take any face cards for the hologram. This is making my blue seals worse. Maybe pick up more blue seals. And now for the dagger, okay, you could take the gelato, but we would prefer something bigger. Could take 6 cents instead of mail-in rebate. I guess I only have 3 6s. Alright, so shoot the moon instead. I'm willing to pay the extra money. It is more expensive to do it this way, but we get to grow the dagger faster. I think is worthwhile. Alright, rebate on 2s. Let's start with pair of kings. Okay. Pair of the 10s. Could be like 25. Okay. Next pair wins. I could rebate these 2s and then draw my other 2s. Maybe that's what I want to do. Rebate these 2s and... Okay, so we got another 2. I don't think I will discard any more 2s, so that. And then 15 cards in the deck, let's go fish. 2 blue seals in hand. Go ahead and ship it. And forget the rebate. Whoops. At least that's could be dagger fodder, I guess. Anyway, the boss is face down cards. Could be a tarot merchant. Generally, I like the tarot merchant. Let's go judgment first. So that's something we can feed into the dagger. Could take shoot the moon here for the same purpose. Hermie gives me 20 bucks, sure. Alright, I could make a gold card. I guess I don't need these 2s to be glass. I made them into glass in case we need glass in the future, especially if we have the leveled up pairs. Could be worthwhile, but maybe I'd rather just have a gold card instead. Alright, Tarot Merchant, sure. Maybe no shoot the moon. Go next. Alright. Pair the 10s. So now the only thing that matters is drawing the blue seals. So blue seal 1. And blue seal 2. That's it. $36 on the dagger. $36 on the dagger. Currently, photograph is plus 20. There's a cola. Probably not relevant. But we can take it. Standard pack for the hologram. Could be a red seal. We could make a red steel card later. Could make a red gold card later. If it's early on, you take the gold card here. Maybe also makes sense to make a glass jack. Since we have Tarot Merchant, maybe the red seal is more likely to do something interesting. Could take an obelisk. I am too deep in pairs, so we can't do that. Hierophant probably doesn't matter. Probably. Go one more. Fool for Mercury. I have enough blue seals that this Fool is not going to be anything else. I want to find something for the dagger. So here's like, we did 4 rerolls. No material for the dagger. I can still go one more because it's $6. And then finally we get something for the dagger. So that's why I think it's worthwhile to save some money in the bank. Alright, how about... This stuff doesn't matter. So, could be 4 of a kind. Go next. I can play any flavor of pairs. Pair of 5s, and then the next pair wins. After digging for the blue seal. Get the blue seal. We could dig for gold cards, but might as well just ship it. That's it. Okay. Could take a wheel. Let's go. I want all of these, I think. Let's go Arcana first, see if we get money. I get death card. So could make more polychrome kings, which help for scoring. Making another glass 2 also helps for scoring. So let's go death. And I want the standard pack for the hologram. Could take another blue seal. Could take a red seal 7. Is not likely to be super important. So maybe I'll just take another blue seal here. In that case, I'm not going to spin the wheel. Go next. Alright, pair the 10s. This doesn't win. And then pair of kings does win. I need a crystal ball. There we go. Alright. Bartolomeo. I still only have the one lucky card, so I guess I open these buffoon packs looking for dagger fodder. This boss has decreased level. So, golden ticket, sure. And rental Wii Joker. We already have so many chips on the leveled up pairs, 400 chips on the pairs. Pod is good. You could consider taking the business card here since it gives us money. We're only playing 4 cards per round. We're playing 2 pairs with face cards, so maybe we take Todd and go next. Todd is going to be a +6. Alright, I could play a pair of jacks. Is the pair of jacks too strong? Maybe if I put hologram over here, then it'll be fine. Great. So, don't need this rock. I have a pair of 2s that I can play. So if I play this pair of 2s, that works. Okay. Okay, 2 moon cards. Definitely want the Arcana packs. Looking for money. Could be make another gold card. This late, maybe the gold card doesn't matter. Maybe Emperor is better. Maybe take Judgment to feed the dagger. I'm gonna go Emperor. Get a death card. Okay, so could be make more glass 2s. Could be make some lucky cards. Maybe I save the magician and I use it on my kings. Definitely make another 2. We can hang them. And I guess give up the golden ticket for the dagger. Alright. Pair of 10s will not win. Probably. Okay. Let's try to get pairs of face cards. Could be some lucky jacks. I don't need this 2. That's it, I guess. I just use a magician, so if I find a fool, I'm not going to use the fool on a magician. So we can go ahead and use the Mercury cards. Telescope, sure. Guaranteed Mercury, sure. And we want some material for the dagger. Could be riffraff, could be hallucination. I like the idea of riffraff. So it goes like this. No, it goes like that. Riffraff is not going to happen. So I guess it goes like this. Go next. Cool. We can sell the riffraff now. I don't want to pay the rental fee, right? This boss is going to decrease level. So maybe what we do is play only one hand if possible. I have a pair of 2s. I could try to get one more 2. We can do it. Just one more 2. Or if we don't get a 2, just one more blue seal is also fine. Alright, I can play these 2. That wins. Maybe should have sold. No, we don't sell the popcorn because we have the dagger. Alright, we got abstract. This boss is gonna be extra large. 56 on the dagger. Let's go standard pack. Alright, could take another rock. Probably you want another 2. Arcana, looking for Hermie. No Hermit, but we could make another glass card. I think probably we want to make more steel cards. I think we have enough glass cards. Maybe if I am going to make a glass card, it is a glass king. Or could be... I like the idea of a steel jack, since we have so many steel jacks already. So steel jack is fine. I don't actually want to do that. Alright, popcorn is fine. Let's go next. Pair the aces. This doesn't win. Cool. And I have a pair of jacks. One of them is lucky. Blue seals in hand. Alright. Since I have the gold cards, we actually have quite a few gold cards. We should dig for them. This is fine. Cool. Take Mercury. Empress shouldn't matter. Take a standard pack for another queen. Could be a queen, could be a 2. I like the idea of the 2. Since I have all the glass 2s, taking more 2s so I can pair them more easily. Let's go next. Pair the 8s. And then the next pair wins. So we have a pair of kings. Sure. Gold cards in hand. Ship it. All right. And a gift card and a death card. We do have the telescope, so this is guaranteed Mercury. And could be a glass 8. Sure. A little bit unfortunate this red seal didn't end up doing anything. Didn't give that justice card. Ace 4, 5, 7. So we have aces, 5s, 4s, 7s. So either 7s or 5s. I guess I'll take the 5. And then go next. All right. We can play the pair of queens if you want. We can play this pair of 2s if you want. We can play this pair of 8s if you want. Could be Pair the kings. Could be pair of 10s with a rock. Could be, how many cards do I have left in the deck? Sure. One, two, three, four, five. Crunchy. All right. So that's how you beat the Violet Vessel, with just one X-Mult Joker. Obviously, hologram under normal conditions is very powerful. What's powerful about the hologram is sort of it applies the X-Mult generically. Any hand, doesn't matter what hand you play. Instead of using Flower Pot or instead of using Blackboard, we just have hologram giving us a ×3. Normally, I would say ×3 is about average for the hologram. You have to consider how many different ways are there to actually add cards to your deck. There's the voucher that does it. There's a few jokers that do it. Could be DNA, could be certificate, could be marble joker. But it's really just the standard packs, and not every shop has a standard pack. Sometimes spectral packs. So on average, hologram is going to be, you know, somewhere between 2.5 to 3.5, unless you really find a powerful synergy. But that's good enough. Just the one kind of ×3 joker. So nothing insane going on joker wise. We have the dagger plus 70. I think that's also kind of average for a dagger. We didn't get the dagger super early, so it's, you know, if you get it in ante 1 or ante 2, you can get the dagger up to maybe 80 or 90 or something like that. So with relatively humble jokers, how do we beat the Violet Vessel? How do we get this 1,000,000 points? Well, it's all in here. Level 40 pairs. How do we get to level 40 pairs? That's unusual. Very strange that you're able to get that high level pairs. Usually the way that you get there is with maybe you got Blueprint copying Burnt Joker, or maybe you got Oops All Sixes and the Spaceman or something like that. Level up every other hand or something like that. Or of course the Blue Seals. Blue Seals can do a lot, but they don't normally do this much. Maybe if you have the Crystal Ball, the Blue Seals do a little bit more. On the Magic deck, maybe the Blue Seals do a little bit more. So it started with Immolate. This run started with Immolate, removing 5 cards from the deck. And then in Ante 2, we got the Hungman twice. We were able to remove another 4 cards from the deck. This is why I prioritize card removal. Card removal is the most important thing. You would think, okay, if I'm just gonna play pairs, I don't really care what goes into my deck. I don't really care what cards are in my hand. I can just add garbage. I can take hologram and I can just add garbage. The drawback of hologram is whatever value generators that you're looking for, you're hoping to draw those cards, hoping to draw your Blue Seals, hoping to draw your gold cards. You're going to get those cards less often. Obviously with the hologram, if you add random cards to your deck, it's going to be more difficult for you to get higher ranking hands, more difficult to get flushes, more difficult to get 4 of a kind and straights and stuff like that. But it's also more difficult for you to draw your Blue Seals, more difficult for you to draw your gold cards. And so that's why sometimes if you open an Arcana pack, there's a Hermit, there's a Hung Man. I will prefer removing 2 cards rather than taking the 20 bucks. Situationally, I think early on, the money is more important. You take the money so that you can fill up your Joker slots, and then once you fill up your Joker slots, then you can shift into setting up the deck. Any cards you remove from your deck in the early game, it makes your future value generators better. You might think, okay, in Ante 1, in Ante 2, I don't have the Blue Seals yet, I don't have gold cards yet, so removing cards from the deck doesn't matter, but having a smaller deck makes those future Blue Seals better, those future gold cards better. And so in this particular run, because we removed so many cards from our deck, we were able to draw 2 Blue Seals every round. 24 rounds, we got 40 levels. Almost perfectly 2 per round. Maybe not every round, not Ante 1, not Ante 2, but after we got the Blue Seals. Also, if you have fewer cards in your deck, it makes the Arcana packs better in the sense that when you open an Arcana pack, it draws 8 cards, right? 8 random cards from your deck. And so if you have fewer cards in your deck, the better cards show up more often. If that Arcana pack has a death card, or that Arcana pack has a devil or something like that, you will draw the correct cards more often in the Arcana packs. And then so now that death card is actually useful. We also did this technique with the blue seals. We said, okay, blue seals, most of the time you don't want to play them. Most of the time you want to hold them in hand. So the best case scenario is you make them into gold. Sometimes you make them into steel also, so that you get a little extra points from the steel cards held in hand. Gold is the best so that you can get the money, so that you can get the jokers that you're looking for, X-Mult jokers in the end game. But glass is also good, because if I set up my blue seals as glass cards, then when I get a future death card, that's the thing that I'm going to copy. Or in this case, we ended up getting DNA, which was very powerful. And so now I have these glass cards. If I get into an emergency situation, you know, maybe there's a boss that says no repeats, or this boss that quietly says no repeats, or maybe you have the wall, or maybe you have the violet vessel. Now I have these glass cards saved up. Also with DNA, I forgot we had DNA, but yeah, with DNA, you want to draw the cards in order to copy them. If you start with only 2 discards, then if you have too many cards in your deck, you're not going to find the right cards. You're not going to be able to make your copies. So kind of fortunate for us, we were able to get the discard voucher. We were able to get the card removal in the early game, and so it made DNA much better, because we had fewer cards in the deck. That's all I'm trying to say. Blue seals are maybe okay. Photograph ended up doing not a whole lot for us on our pairs build. Photograph is very good with the Chad, but without the Chad it's just kind of fine. So kind of interesting navigating the early part of this run. In the early part of this run, we didn't have the dagger, we didn't have the plus mult, we had to rely on the photograph for our mult. Photograph is much better if you're doing flushes or straights where the base mult is higher. Other ways that you can kind of make the photograph better. Photograph is going to have synergy with glass cards. It's going to have synergy with polychrome and steel cards. Because all of these things, steel cards, glass cards, polychrome, photograph, all of those things happen before you get the plus mult from something like the dagger or the bus or green joker or something like that. Usually our base mult is not high enough on the pairs. We don't actually care about glass cards, steel cards. We just get our mult from our plus mult jokers. But in this particular run, we were able to do something interesting because we had such high levels from the blue seals. Alright, hope you had fun. Take care, everyone.